Hey everybody, what's going on? It's wilkyb with another game here to bring to you for my tournament on Concealed Hill version 13 here. This game is between Andy Rangetta. I don't know how to say that, but I know what it is it's an Italian mob, which is funny because I came across that recently in a Wikipedia article. Yeah, which is weird. But anyways, Andy Rangetta versus Meteor Nate, and we're at the point in time in this tournament where we're in like the winners. We're in like the ladder, like 70% of the tournament has been completed, and so now who remain are like higher ranking players, and the two of these guys are like close to 1400. So yeah, so we're gonna see a good game here. So Andy Rangetta has gone with Sammy, who is playing as Orange Star, or like player one, and Meteor Nate is Andy, and he's playing as Blue Moon, or player two. So here we go. We're gonna just see what happens. So Andy Rangetta is going for his bases immediately, going for the economy part, or the economy game. And actually, you know what? I read the message in this game, and I think Andy Rangetta didn't understand that the lab permits recons to be built. So I think at this point in the game, they probably would have built a recon, but they realized they couldn't do that anymore with the new addition. Yep, so we're just seeing the economy game. I'm just going to blast through this stuff because there's nothing too exciting that's going to happen here. Except for an APC. What the fuck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why did he get an APC? That's an interesting move. Especially from a high-ranking player. Like, APCs, you either see APCs from people who play like 700 at like 700 level, or you'll see APCs from people who play like double that level, like 1400. So an interesting move here. Yes, very interesting. There's a recon. Loading up the infantry from the middle. Okay. Huh. So they're stacking the left side, and they're hardly even going for the right side here, which is interesting. I feel like at this point, if Nate had a recon to scout the middle, he would see that like there's nothing there. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Oh, you know what? That makes sense to have a lot of infantry on this side here, especially if you're Sammy, because with the residual infantries that remain after like the first big confrontation, that'll probably be around the same time that you have Victory March, and you can like capture stuff with lots of residual infantry. So, stuff to consider here. Look at this. This is wild already, and we've not even seen a confrontation yet. Man, I gotta say, Nate has got 2 tanks and a recon, and Andy Rangetta has got 1 tank, and like that's it. So that's a really interesting difference, so to speak. Yeah, interesting. Man, this is really something we're watching here. Boom, getting into possession. It's crazy how. I feel like if, well, I mean, it's obvious, but the middle is so like thin that like I feel like if either player were to rush down the middle as a strategy from the beginning of the game, then that would probably be super effective for, you know, both the play styles both players are going for, which is just to support the outside and, like, you know, neglect the middle. So they're playing a bit of a gentleman's game here, doing the same sort of thing, not really messing around with each other. Getting all set up here. What's the unit count? 25 to 25. Man, I love the APC. That's super cool. How many mechs? 1, 2, 3, 4 mechs. Yeah, I likes it. And I'm thinking about it too. Mechs are really good. Man, have these guys even touched each other the whole game? They haven't, have they? The mech for Sammy is super cool because they can move 5 tiles, right? 5 tiles total with the superpower, with the super co-power. Or maybe it's 4, I'm not sure. I think it's 5. They can move 5 total. So that's really cool to see. So now Nate is getting in there. And 1, 2. That's actually kind of dangerous. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see that. Interesting. Now we're starting to see the action. That's the artillery. Oh, medium tank. I didn't see that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what's cool about getting the APC and the mechs early game is that for the same firepower of like a tank, you're only spending like 3,000 on a mech instead of a tank. And that also means that you can produce more units, like total. So like for the same firepower as a tank, I can build a mech for 3,000 income, and that frees up me to use up, like I can spend mech 9,000 funds, and then I can still build like a battlecopter if I have 27,000, right? 9, 18, 27, yeah. So that's interesting because the unit count is just higher for our player 1 friend. Huh, that's something to think about. Yeah, this is big trouble for for Nate. This is going to be awesome when this collides. Oh my god. Don't know how well Nate's going to do on this side here, though, on the left. Okay, this is getting serious. Oh man, a rocket too. What a crazy unit composition. This game is crazy. Kind of slow to start, but holy what are we looking at right now? Here we go, going deep, going hard in the paint. Boom. Wowee. Man, this is wild. What's going to happen next? So, victory march. Boom, taking the comm tower. Man, Sammy is so good for that reason. Like, look at Sammy just taking all this stuff. Look at that. That's very good. Man, that's so good. Yeah, another thing, kind of like I mentioned, is I just feel like Sammy, when you can produce more mechs, that frees up more funds for you to build from the airports as well. So I think a big thing about the unit count on this map is if you can, and you can produce 5 or at least like 4 units every turn, like that's a big deal. Like just having the unit count is a big deal in this game. And same with Sammy's like super co-power is like you can engage all of these really, like typically infantry and mechs are really hard to get to engage in a fight, but with Sammy's super co-power, like they can get in there, like they're very maneuverable and stuff, which is usually a really difficult thing to do if you don't have that super co-power. I think for Nate, yeah, this game is looking really not good for Nate at this point. Man, Sammy is good. Well, that Neo tank is a big problem, though. But an even bigger problem is all of this capturing that Sammy has done. Oh, now there's a bomber. Yeah, this game's looking pretty GG at this point. especially if Nate doesn't see that bomber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this game's got to be over. I think he must forfeit the next turn. Yeah. Victory March is so good. Ugh, disgustingly good. Disgustingly good. Yeah, I think Nate just forfeits at this point. Yeah, that's it. Cool, that's the game. So I think this is a decent, you can kind of see at the beginning, like, well, what ND Rangetta, however you pronounce that, I don't know how, but when they go with the APC at the beginning of the game, I feel like had Nate gone with recon and like scouted, or not necessarily, I guess you can't scout this unless you move the recon down one move, and at the beginning of the game you really want to rush with that recon, but had Nate sort of clued in that their opponent got the APC at the beginning, I think you can really pressure and like just send a tank in the middle, because like that, if we move ahead like 3 or 4 turns, like the unit count is so much in favor of Nate right now, like 2 tanks, 1 recon, and this is like 1 tank, 2 recons. Like that's not a very good unit composition for our player 1 friend. So anyways, yeah, there's that. Something I think is worth mentioning. And then we don't really see any action until like the 14th turn or something, do we? Yeah. So, yeah, interesting game. I think this is a demonstration about how good Sammy is, and like Sammy's interesting because I think they have the potential to like rush your opponent in the middle and do you know, infantry stuff and mess around that way. But they also have a really, like, Sammy has a really good late game as well, because when you get that victory march and you're, you know, if you're pressuring the opposite side of your opponent, you can capture so many cities in especially with the strategy that player 1 has employed here with the APC. So like I said at the beginning, is they have so many residual infantry on this side that when they push this side, their strong side, they can capture like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 cities in 1 turn with that super co-power. So yeah, so that's it for this game, I think. Good game between both players. I think this is winners, so the loser, Nate, is now in the loser's bracket. So yeah, interesting game. Yeah, interesting game. So that's enough for me for this game, and if you guys like the video, like and subscribe, blah blah blah, and thank you for watching. Cheers.